Hey, I'm Hadley. I'm with Corolla Village Inn. We are a new inn. We just opened up in 2019. We've got 12 bedrooms, and we're located in the heart of historic Corolla Village, so just north of the lighthouse and the chapel. But typically, the Outer Banks, it was in large part built around family vacations that people would take for a week at a time. And we started to see a little bit more of a shift, whether it's a generational shift or just a shift in attitudes, where people said, some people said, hey, that's great, but I'd just like to come down for 2 or 3 days, with somebody else and, hang out for a little bit, but then go back home and not spend all my vacation days at once. And so we just started to see more and more of that. And so it was kind of the opportune time to say, well, let's try an inn where you do kind of have that flexibility when it comes to stays. People who do just want partial stays or 2-3 weeks or days. We do get people who still come down for, 7 nights or 11 nights. They're just happy that they get to be in an inn. A room that's contained. They make frequent trips. They might come back 4 or 5 times a year just for long weekends, just because of that, which is really fun for us too, because we get to know the guests really well. And when they call, it's like, oh yeah, of course, can't wait to see you come back. And we do have 2 dog-friendly rooms, and so we get to know our dog customers too. And we're like, oh, when's Buddy coming back? We've got a biscuit waiting for him. We had guests mail us once they got home dog treats for my dog Junebug, who hangs around here a lot. So it's fun. I mean, you really get to know your guests. There were definitely some panic moments where we thought, will we even have a season? And that's especially difficult for beginning businesses that don't have a solid foundation yet. And so there was some worry. But when the bridges opened back up again and visitors came across, we were happy to see that the Outer Banks was a big destination choice, that people were excited to be in small family-run places where they felt like they were going to get a little more attention to detail, have some better communication. What are we doing in order to kind of, think about COVID and, take care of our guests and those kinds of things. Yes, there are rules, but there's also just consideration. Make sure all of our guests feel comfortable when they come here. Cleaning wise, we have certain cleaning chemicals we're going into the rooms, obviously ahead of time. We're wiping down all high touch surfaces, including handrails and light switches and doorknobs. And it's amazing actually how many high touch surfaces there are when you start thinking about it. It helps too that the inn is new, so, there's already a cleanliness standard because everything's brand new. So you walk into a room and it doesn't take much to keep it looking clean, which is great. So when the floodgates opened, that first weekend, it was kind of fast and furious around here. Just people who had been cooped up for way too long showing up. We thought maybe there would be a blip and then it would kind of mellow out again. But all of a sudden, booking pace at property management companies, they couldn't keep up. Before they couldn't keep up with cancellations, and then they can't keep up with the bookings. I think everybody just, hopefully, in my position, I'm just delightfully surprised. Not being able to keep up is a good problem, because for a little while, we had big bad problems that we were all concerned about. So I'll take this any day of the week. And because of that, the Outer Banks is having a banner year, especially in certain sectors, and we've had a really successful second season so far. And now I just have to figure out what year 3 is going to look like.